fundamentals down. Start with the circle of fifths, work your way out. Circle of fifths and the intervals, get those two things down right away, and then proper picking techniques. And then the Bernth channel, Bernth. Bernth. He doesn't even know how to pronounce his name properly, so don't feel bad about it. It's an Austrian guy, and he is phenomenal. He's a fantastic guitar player. Really critiques technique to a level beyond. You know what I mean? And like his playing is just second to none. And you can learn a lot from a guy like that. Yeah, when you learn from a guy, you get influence. There's no doubt about that, because whenever you learn somebody else's style of music, you're learning their mannerisms of how they played it to a degree. But sometimes, coming back to Randy, he maybe just the way he held his pick made a different sound, that when you try to play your style, the way you hold your pick, or it doesn't come out the same way, which is kind of cool too, because then, you give it your own flavor. But it's nice to know how the cake is made. And that's why you should learn music theory. In this day and age with the YouTube videos, if you've never played a guitar before in your life and you weren't sure if you wanted to get into it, first, I would highly recommend you rent a guitar for about like a month or two, because it's cheap enough, and then it'll save you a lot of money if you never touch the thing, right? And start with the music theory, go get some books, whatever. I had some music theory books and whatever. And, I read through them and stuff like that and practice them from time to time. But to really take my playing to the next level, which I'm really, really trying to push my style from your classic rock, pentatonic 80s rocker to like a neoclassical, symphonic metal guy. That's what I'm trying to become. And it's amazing how much just in a year and a half to 2 years, how much I've changed my playing style and how much I've changed in my sound. I don't do the regular pentatonic lick. I try to avoid doing that lick at all costs, because it's not that I don't like the lick. It's that I'm trying to force myself to do newer things. So I'm, really working on the sweep picking for this year. I'm really working on the sweep picking stuff. So yeah, when you see my guitar videos where I'm playing really sloppy and stuff like that, I'm just kind of winging it. Yeah, of course I sound horrible, but that's a part of the process, right? But one thing that is great is when I do get something down really well, it sounds so bloody good. And that's what these guys did. You know what I mean? So if it worked for them, it's definitely going to work for you. But you need to know what you're doing. So this idea of that, I don't want to learn music theory because I don't want to sound like everybody else. The flash is you do sound like everybody else, because you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. And once you do, and it's not as hard as you think, everything is A to G really. And then a couple of sharps, a couple of flats. If you can learn 12, if you can count to 12, you can pretty much figure out music theory. So I just thought that, within this day and age where, I wonder how much faster I would have learned with what's available now. Because like, again, this was the YouTube for me, right? And that poster was in that magazine. I didn't even know it had the poster in it. And that was on my wall for many, many years. I put it away as a keepsake. One last thing I'll address before I go, two things, is number one, like the kids nowadays, they can learn, Tim Henson, Polyphia playing, and all those crazy techniques right from the get-go. But get the theory down before you go for the flash. Because what happened with me was I got all the flash, and I remember a music teacher who I didn't get along very well with, but we did respect each other as musicians, even though we didn't get along very well. But he said to me one day, he saw me playing in the hallway. I made 400 kids late for class doing this, because I was standing on my amp, cranking out some AC/DC and stuff like that. And I was doing all these crazy chops. And he goes, I'm going to tell you something. He goes, your chops are awesome. He goes, but they're here, they're there, they're all, he says, your timing sucks. And so he sat me down, really got it into my head that if you don't have the timing, you don't have the rhythm, it doesn't matter how fancy your chops are going to be, you're going to suck. But as a teenager, I was always thinking in lead guitar mode, right? But he was right. So once I got that in, it really pulled my songwriting together better. And, not that I don't have any really popular songs, but I got some out there. And it really pulled my mindset of how to compose a solo on top of on top of rhythms and stuff like that. and how to really do it. And, I had to get the timing down first, and then I had to get the theory and the timing kind of down together, so to speak, to really understand what I was doing. So I've always known enough to be dangerous, but I wanted to take my theory. The last past year, I've been trying to take my music theory at just a level beyond, because again, the more you know, the less you need. So with that said, like I say, the kids have so much, like YouTube is probably the easiest way to learn the basics. But I would still get, either if you could take lessons, go and take lessons, get that music theory, go buy some music theory books. The rudiments of music, yeah, very dry read. I'm not, you're going to fall asleep a few times reading it, but you will learn a lot from that. It's pretty much everything. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed that, but that's how we did it when we were growing up as Gen Xers. So I can imagine, the Gen A, they say, yeah, well, I learned how to play like Randy Rhoads in 6 months. Where, to put it in perspective, a guy like Randy Rhoads probably took him, quite a few years to get up to where he was at. But he was a fanatic at his playing. That's all the guy did was play guitar. He played with Quiet Riot, and then he went into Ozzy, right? But the thing is that there was a lot of guys that could do that, but they had to have the right starting blocks to get that. So the average guy, to reach Randy Rhoads' level, would probably be 8 or 10 years of playing just to get close to him, because they didn't have the music theory. They didn't have the knowledge to, really understand what they were doing. And by understanding that, you say, well, I'm just learning their songs. Yeah, but the thing is you're learning their songs, but you don't know why, like if you know what mode the guy's in, the blueprint of the fingerboard of where to play that everywhere on the neck. And when you know that, your creativity just spikes, right? Whatever mode you're in, it doesn't matter. The point is when you know the formula of the mode, you can take it into this song, that song, wherever. And when you understand that, you advance really, really, really fast. The rest is just getting the techniques down to play the insanity that's in your head. And I'll sum it up like what Paul Gilbert said. And I think he sums it up the best is, here's your skill level over here. Here is the sound in your head. And what you're trying to do is get them to come together like this. And one is based on how much technique and ability you have. And the other one is based on, understanding the knowledge of what you want to create. So, the more you know, the less you need. So anyway, that's how we learned as Gen Xers. It's interesting to see how the younger generations, they don't necessarily have it easy, because they can get overwhelmed very easily by just having everything at their access. So, but there's one thing that hasn't changed, whether from the very first guitar made in human history to now, is that you still have to learn the theory. And yeah, theory can be a bit boring, but it's not really that boring once you get into it. In fact, like even if you put 5 minutes a week, just learning the theory, don't even look at the guitar, just look at the theory. It's pretty much all there for you. And you can even go buy books that are, just to get you going. And, there's no reason not to do that. So anyway, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. A little bit of a walk through memory lane for me. I still remember the day I picked that up. Yeah. That was, I think I even borrowed some $2 from a friend just to cover the rest of the cost of the magazine. But that was the first of many. And that's the only one I got left. And what a journey it's been to see, this, and this is where I'm at now. It's kind of a cool thing. All right, there you go. Have yourselves a great day.